Stargate.
Stargate, yes.
Stargate, the massive AI infrastructure effort by OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and others, announcing plans to open 5 new data centers, which will eventually have 7 gigawatts of power capacity. What is that, about 8 million homes? No, actually 6 million homes. Joining us now, first on CNBC, another tech partner to the Stargate venture, ARM CEO Rene Haas joins us from London. Rene, great to see you on the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, Jim.
All right, so now I'm just going to cut to the chase here. You know that everyone's just talking about that the spend's too great, and there's no way you can find the money, and there's no return. Could you put things in perspective? Because you're in pretty much everything, so you talk to everyone. What are people saying when the pushback from the media and from the analysts says this is just a farce at this point?
Yeah, I was just listening to the conversation that you were having prior about all of the spend that's taking place, the money from CoreWeave, the money that's going on. Obviously, it was announced yesterday with OpenAI and SoftBank and Oracle, of which we're hugely proud to be a part of. The demand curve still appears to be, rather insatiable. And one of the key indicators we look around that, Jim, is that while ChatGPT and these models are getting very good at solving things like the bar exam and software experiments or coding contests, there's still a lot of problems that AI cannot solve. When you think about drug research, cancer research, unsolved problems, what's called open-ended AI. In other words, you're trying to use AI to solve problems where their answers are not yet. Those require lots and lots of training, which require lots and lots of GPUs, which require lots and lots of power, which require lots and lots of capital. So right now, I think we're still on this demand curve that seems to be still climbing.
Well, Rene, you can help because you're close to Jensen Huang, too. I mean, there is this kind of theme underlying it, which is that you write a check to Jensen Huang. He's the guy who makes all the money, that maybe there won't be any real payback. Yet when you speak to Jensen, as you know, he talks about almost instant payback. Could you give us the state of play here?
Yeah, as you said, they're a close partner. Jensen was just in the UK last week. I was here. We announced a lot of big investments here in the UK. The next generation data center that NVIDIA is going to be putting up uses the next generation ARM CPU that's going into Vera, strengthening the ARM partnership with NVIDIA in the cloud. And similar to what we're seeing, the GPUs and, of course, powered by the ARM CPUs is really driving a lot of growth here. As far as how the money kind of flows through the channels, obviously this kind of financing requires a lot of creative ways to go off and get it done. So while I don't have all the details of this $100 billion financing deal, you're looking at lots of unique ways to go off and solve this problem because their capital required is so staggering that we're now looking at ways we haven't looked at in the past to finance the builds. But I'm pretty confident, again, that right now there's just huge demand for what AI can do, and we're still in such early days.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that as well. It's going to take more and more creative ways to go about it. Rene, what about the power side? I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are in terms of the ability, ultimately, of this country to be able to meet the needs of as Jim said, things that are going to conceivably could power millions of homes if they were used for that as opposed to just data centers.
We've seen a shift for sure, David, in terms of from the previous administration to this administration now being much more open about using fossil fuels and natural gas, which I think helps in the short term. But if you think about these numbers in tens of gigawatts, 50 gigawatts, 100 gigawatts, even that starts to run out of runway. So things like SMRs, nuclear, I think everyone is looking at everything right now in terms of how do you get this done, because clearly at the rate we're going, the current methods aren't going to work.
Now, Rene,